Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Jan Michael here, coming at you with some more Oscar predictions. There's a lot to talk about in this video. I'm not going to waste too much time with introductions, so let's just jump right in. These are my Oscar predictions for November of 2021. Best Picture. I got a lot to talk about and discuss, so I will address the elephant in the room in a few minutes. Just bear with me for the time being because there's a lot I want to say. First and foremost, I've had Licorice Pizza as my number one for the longest time. Like many, I did believe that this was going to be Paul Thomas Anderson's most accessible film. Looking at the trailer made it seem like it was a film that more audiences were going to kind of gravitate towards. And so I thought, okay, great, that means that maybe it's going to really break into the Oscars and finally give Paul that recognition he deserves. But then I heard an argument, and it's an argument that stewed in my head for a long time. And that argument was, in order for him to get the recognition he deserves, he needed to make a movie that was better than There Will Be Blood. And at first I was like, no, there's no fucking way, because that film's already seen as a masterpiece by a lot of people, so there's a lot of people that are never going to consider any of his other works to be even better than that film. So I didn't think it needed to go down that route until I started thinking about it more. And didn't we have something very similar this year with Asghar Farhadi's film? Yeah, I remember that everybody was saying, oh, this is the foreign director that's going to get the recognition he deserves in the director category. And then his film came out and everyone basically said, oh, it's a great film, but it's not his best film. And then after that, he quickly started falling off of a lot of people's predictions. Now his movie isn't even seen to win Best Foreign Film. So yeah, maybe we have something similar here with Paul's film. Now, I don't think Paul has the exact same hurdles he needs to jump over as Asghar does, but if I have to look at Asghar's film and think, that's a possibility there, then I also have to admit that there could be a possibility with Licorice Pizza maybe not meeting the demands that people want it to. And so the more I really started thinking about that, the more I started thinking, yeah, maybe not number one. Maybe this isn't the film that really breaks out. I hope it is. I always hope that I'm wrong with some of these predictions and the movies prove me wrong, but it's making me pause. So it dropped down. But what's going to take its place? As all of you know, Nightmare Alley was number 2, so does that mean I would put Nightmare Alley at number 1? Well, here's another thing, and this really also ties into Licorice Pizza and why I dropped it down, but Nightmare Alley really isn't hitting any festivals. And the last time a movie won Best Picture, missing out on all the festival, was for 2006's The Departed. 2006, that's quite a long time ago. And while I don't like to break these down into a mathematical formula like, oh, well, the odds are on here, the equation states that this is the one that's going to win, I would like to see that broken even. Like, I would love to see one of these other films break out and prove that formula wrong. I do have to admit that it is a kind of staple that we've seen the films that skip out on the festivals really not go on to win. And so now that's making me pause, not just with Nightmare Alley and not just with Licorice Pizza, but you also have House of Gucci, West Side Story, Don't Look Up that are possibly going to be hit with that as well. So those all drop down. I'm not saying they're not going to get nominated. I'm just saying they all drop down in my thought process for winning Best Picture. So what the hell is left? Well, I guess Dune should take number 1, right? Yes, except there's something that just happened that's going to hurt this film's chance of winning. And that is the second part just got greenlit. And first, let me just say, fantastic, freaking great. I'm so happy that we're going to see the continuation and the conclusion to Dune. But I think that's going to hurt this Dune's chance of winning Best Picture and Best Director. Because I think a lot of people are going to really want to honor Denis and his film for that last part, that epic finale. Kind of similar how they did with with Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson. And I do think that Dune could very well be Denis' Lord of the Rings. So yeah, now I think that maybe Dune doesn't have as strong a shot to win. It would have definitely, I think, had a better chance if the second part had not been announced, because then a lot of people would be like, well, you know, Denis did say that this is his best film. A lot of people are gravitating towards it. A lot of people really like it. So they're going to want to honor him. But now they're probably going to want to honor him for the grand finale. At least that's my train of thought to that. So what the fuck is left, right? I guess Belfast, right? Because Belfast is the one that won the People's Choice at TIFF. It's the front runner. You know, a lot of people are saying this is the one that's going to win. And the only reason I really didn't have it at my number one last time is because there's also been people that didn't really gravitate towards it as much, that they thought, yeah, it was good, but that's pretty much about it. It doesn't have that unanimous acclaim that films like Nomadland, the Oscar season prior had. So it made me think, maybe this one isn't gonna go all the way, like the People's Choice at TIFF usually takes the film. But really, when I look down at everything as a whole, I really can't think of anything else. The Power of the Dog? Possibly. That is another one that's really already been seen by the critics, by all the people in the industry. And the only thing that's making me pause there is because that one also had a weird split where some people just didn't like it. There's still a lot of critics who say that the general audience is just not going to go for it. And that's making me pause there. So what the hell is left? Now, let's discuss the elephant in the room. King Richard, which a lot of you called me out on, saying, why the hell didn't I have it on anything? And yeah, I might have dropped the ball on that one. But let me explain my whole reasoning of why I did what I did last month. So, first and foremost, I gotta say that when I first saw the trailer for King Richard, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, you have a Venus and Serena Williams biopic and Will Smith is your main character. There's just something wrong about that. Just in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. This is already seeing like an Oscar baity film that's doomed to fail. And when you mix that with Will so badly wanting an Oscar to the point where I think a lot of the films that he chooses aren't very good, it just seemed like it was going to fail to me. So the early reviews came out and I was reading them and they were fine. If you really look at them, a lot of the critics were giving it like 3.5, 4 out of 5s, 7 out of 10s. They were fine. They weren't bad reviews. They were just okay, and nothing that made me think, oh my God, King Richard's gonna be a huge Oscar contender, an Oscar player. I gotta put it in there. It was just fine. And so I thought, you know what? Those early reviews are never right on track, or almost never right on track. You know, gotta wait for the full reviews to come out for me to really decide where I'm gonna place this. So I was gonna wait one more month. And then I put out the video, I decide, you know what, let's take a look at what other people are predicting. I hadn't done that in a while. Let's read some articles, let's see some videos. And fucking everybody had it on Best Picture, they had it on Best Director, they had Best Actor, they had Best Supporting Actors, they had Screenplay, they had Original Song, and I'm like, oh shit, I think I made a mistake. They have to know something that I don't. And honestly, even a month later, I'm not quite sure what they know that I don't. Because the reviews are really just about the same. There are a few people that do generally really like it. They gave it like a perfect score, but overall the reviews are still pretty much the same, where it's fine. It's just fine. So I don't know. I was hesitant to put it on there until I saw it when the Chicago Film Festival award, the main prize there. And that's really when I started to think, okay, here's something I can work with. Maybe this is going to be a huge Oscar player after all. So mix that with everything that I just said about why I'm dropping some of these other picks down, and you also have the possibility of King Richard winning. Now, I'm not 100% there yet, right? The movie's coming out pretty soon, so you never know. Maybe by this time next month, I'll be sucking its dick and going, hey guys, you gotta get in on this King Richard thing. For now, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna place it here, and we'll see what happens. So that's what I have to say about Best Picture and why everything kind of shifted around here. Best Director is pretty much the exact same picks, just kind of rearranged. Again, if I'm going to take what I just said into consideration for director as well, then both Paul and Denis kind of drop down, and I have to kind of move Kenneth up. Front runner, so obviously a lot of people already have him at their number one. This isn't a huge shock to see him there. But yeah, what I said really does come into play, he definitely has the best chance to take it. I think Jane Campion also has a really good shot of getting in. A couple of people did message me saying, no, you got to take her out. She's no longer getting in. And good Lord, I hope not. I hope this isn't a straight up sausage fest, especially because last season we finally had 2 female directors, a first in history. So Oscars, don't take 2 steps back now. Come on, you know better. You know better. So I think it's a safe bet to have her. I do think the 5th slot is open right now. I think anybody can get in. Not ready to put Reginald on there just quite yet. We'll see maybe next month. For now, I'll keep Guillermo on there. But right now, really, it's just kind of an open slot to me until I really have something that comes out and grabs me. So that's what I have for director. Now, some of you are probably seeing Best Actor and going, Jan Michael, you bandwagoning little bitch. You're following suit and putting Will Smith at number 1, huh? And then I'm sure some of you are like, good God, Jan, you finally came to your senses and put Will Smith at number 1. In both cases, let me tell you why I'm doing this. Let me explain my reasoning to you. If you have Will Smith in your top 5, he's got to be your number 1. You cannot place him anywhere else. If he's in your 6 below, fuck it, it doesn't matter where he is. But if you really think he's going to get nominated, he's got to be your number 1. And the reason for that is because his claim to it right now is incredibly strong. Think about it. He meets all the precursors. He's been nominated plenty of times in the past. He's never won. He's very well liked. He's a huge movie star in an age where we really don't have a lot of those anymore. His films make a shit ton of money, even when they're fucking terrible. So I think a lot of people are really going to be backing him to win the Oscar if he gets in. So if he gets in, he should be your number 1. That being said, I still have Denzel at number 2. I think he's also a very strong candidate. And the only reason I don't push for him more right now is because he has won in the past. He's been nominated plenty of times before as well. And I think the Tragedy of Macbeth being full-on Shakespearean is going to turn a lot of people away. Because let's face it, there's a lot of people that just aren't into the Shakespeare stuff. So there's that could hurt. But I'm not going to say it's impossible. If they want to Frances McDormand him, I think that's a possibility as well. So we'll see. You also have Benedict Cumberbatch. And the only reason I don't have him really being a huge contender, though I do think it's a safe bet he's going to get in, is that there are a lot of people that I saw feel that he was miscast. And a lot of people felt that maybe that role should have gone to another actor. So I already can tell the dirty tactics if he gets nominated of why he shouldn't win. People are just going to be going around saying, oh, no, this actor would have been better in this role, and, that Oscar fuckery. So I think that's really going to hurt its chances. I think slots 4 and 5 are open right now. I don't think we have a safe bet with number 4 and number 5. I would love to see Peter Dinklage get his first Oscar nomination, but his first Oscar nomination is really the detriment that I think is going to stop him from winning. And again, Bradley Cooper, not a lot of people are talking about him for Nightmare Alley. I'm not quite sure why, probably because we don't really have much to go off of other than the trailer. But he's great. It wouldn't be a surprise if he got nominated. He's really not on the tip of anyone's tongue when it comes to Best Actor. So you can take those, you take anybody else, and there's probably something working against them as well. And I repeat, if you have Will Smith in your top 5, he needs to be your number 1. For Best Actress, it's still a fight between Jessica Chastain and Kristen Stewart. And a lot of people are putting Kristen at number 1. And to the point where I'm honestly thinking I should probably switch this and put her at my number 1. The only reason I haven't done so yet is because I haven't seen Spencer. That's going to change very soon. This week it's finally coming out where I'm at, so I will be seeing it. So you never know, by next month I will probably change this if I'm just as entranced as everybody else is. That being said, it's still a fight between them two. The others are just kind of what's going to fill out those slots. I still think Frances McDormand, I've seen a lot of people kind of drop her off. I'm not ready to do so. Once I see Tragedy of Macbeth, maybe I'll have a better understanding of why people are doing so, but I can't see Frances getting snubbed, especially with everything that's happened with her and her wins these last couple of years. So there's that. Lady Gaga, I hear, is a very safe bet. A lot of people are saying she's really good in the movie. And then I have Penelope Cruz on there. So that's kind of what's rounding out my actresses. But again, it's really just a fight between those top two. Best Supporting Actor is confusing the fuck out of me right now. Just looking at all the people predicting, going on Gold Derby, going on the different websites and reading all the what everybody's ideas are, it's all over the place. I don't think there's anybody that really knows who's really getting in, who's a Sherlock, who has a strong possibility of winning. So fuck it, I'm gonna throw them in the order that I would like to see them succeed. And number one, I have Jason Isaacs. I haven't gotten a chance to see Mask yet, but I hear that movie has some of the best performances of the year, hands down. And it makes me very excited to go see it. So right now, that's the performance I really would like to see break out and reach my number one. Jared Leto for House of Gucci, just that transformation is amazing. I think that's what's really going to get him pushed into the nomination circle. And I know he has a bit of a backlash recently, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think Hollywood likes him way too much. So I do think he's a strong contender. Ciarán Hinds, Belfast being your front runner. Obviously, a lot of that cast is probably going to try to squeeze in wherever they can until I see it. I'm just going to place him here. I'm not sure if I'm going to swap it out yet or not. Bradley Cooper's probably the one that I've been going back and forth the most. I don't know if he's going to get double nominated, but I think if he gets in right now, my train of thought this very moment is he's more likely to get in for Licorice Pizza. And this is kind of, again, repeating what I said last month. The reason I took him off is because he doesn't really have a lot of screen time from what I understand, and his name is like in the middle or towards the bottom in terms of credits. He doesn't even have that with Bradley Cooper and Bradley Cooper. His name really sticks out. It's just kind of placed in the middle. So that's what really made me think, maybe he's not going to get in here. But then I heard the argument that, hey, he is the one that's probably prominent most in the trailer. So makes them and me think now that maybe that's the one thing they really want to push for his nomination. But then I also heard the argument that maybe it's because they're trying to sell the movie, and because the main characters really aren't well known, that they have to push a famous person to really get people to go see the movie. So it's a fucking mess. I'm just putting him in here right now for number 4. Fuck it, we'll find out what happens soon enough. And then Richard Jenkins, I have at number 5. I had him at number 1 for a while, but man, his buzz dying. Even the people that raved about him have really started to drop him. So he might just get knocked out of my top 5 because I'm not feeling confident about his nomination anymore. But again, I'm not really 100% confident in anybody's nomination. So yeah, supporting actor, it's just a big WTF right now. Supporting actors, definitely a lot better. Not much has changed. I still have Ann Dowd at number 1 and Marlee Matlin at number 2. I put, and I apologize if I mess this up, I put Anajanu Elias for King Richard. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced that. I put her at number 3. A lot of people predicting her, saying she's really good. So, hey, I'm on board. Ruth Negga for Passing, getting a huge push recently. The movie just about to come out to general audiences very soon. So I think a lot of people are very hyped about that one. And then Catriona Balfe for Belfast, number 5. Again, I think with Belfast being your front runner, you're going to see a lot of that cast getting nominated. I think this was pretty solid, but again, I think it's just there can be things that get swapped out. So yeah, very, very excited to see what's gonna get in here. Okay, so let's move a little bit faster. I know I spent a lot of time going over my thoughts and ideas during those other categories. So Don't want to make this an hour. Let's move. Original screenplay. Belfast moves to number 1. Still got Licorice Pizza, Don't Look Up, Mask, The Worst Person in the World. I think those are pretty good. So adapted screenplay, then we have Nightmare Alley, still my number 1. I do think The Power of the Dog has a good chance of taking it, just based on where, if my train of thought is correct, maybe that's where they kind of honor this film. If it doesn't end up being that, if it doesn't end up taking any other awards home, this could be the one that it really excels at. Threw in The Lost Daughter right there. That's getting a huge push recently. A lot of people seem to really be liking it, so put that one in there. Put House of Gucci in there, and then Coda. I think if there's 2 places Coda can really get into is the screenplay and the best supporting actress. So that's what I have for writing, and that can still change. There's still possibilities. I didn't add King Richard in here, so we'll see how that shapes next month. So just because I don't think Dune is going to be your big winner that night doesn't mean that it can't be a big winner that night, if you know what I mean. And by that I mean a lot of the technical categories. I think it still has a very strong possibility of taking home. Starting here with film editing, I think it has a really good shot there. Of course, Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Belfast, definitely got to get in if that's gonna take home Best Picture. And then Licorice Pizza, though I'm not 100% on Licorice Pizza and film editing right now, especially with how I dropped it. So that could very well change next month. Production design, once again, Dune at my very top. I do think The French Dispatch can still get in here. I heard a lot of people talking about how great the design is in the film. So yeah, I know that film's also kind of dying, so that might change. Nightmare Alley seems like gonna have a fantastic production design. Tragedy of Macbeth, and then Spencer right through on there as well. For cinematography, once again, Dune I think has a really good shot at taking it. Nightmare Alley I think is gonna have some beautiful cinematography. At least I hope it does. The Power of the Dog, a lot of people saying really great cinematography there. The Tragedy of Macbeth and Belfast. Just really don't want to vote against the black and white films, so that's what I have for you there. And then costume design. I'm sticking with Cruella. I think this has been my number 1 since almost the very beginning. It's just, again, it's a film about the costume. So of course, I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about that film when voting. So there's that. I also think House of Gucci has a really good shot of getting in. Nightmare Alley, Spencer. The French Dispatch is a big question mark. I might drop that off next month, but I'll keep it in there just one more month for now. Makeup and hairstyling, I think, is still just a battle between House of Gucci and The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Leaning more on The Eyes of Gucci, especially if you pay attention to The Eyes of Tammy Faye. There are times where the makeup can come off as ridiculous. The cheeks sometimes look fucking stupid. So I think House of Gucci has kind of a leg up, because you know the Oscar fuckery, they're going to use that against Eyes of Tammy Faye for people to not vote it. So yeah, I think House of Gucci has a better shot. Threw in Dune in there, threw in Cruella, threw in Spencer, but really, again, I think it's a battle between the top 2. Animated feature film, again, this one really hasn't changed. I still have Flea, I have Mitchells, Encanto, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon. A lot of people put, what was it, Belle, I think, at number 5. I think that one probably also has a really good shot at getting in. Haven't seen it yet. I hope I get to soon. So that might replace Raya. I think Raya is the one that's kind of your least likely of squeezing in, just because it came out such a long time ago, and so it's not going to be fresh in a lot of people's minds. Documentary feature, still have Flea on there. So real quickly, because the documentary kind of festival happened not that long ago, and we got a good look at what they consider to be some of the best documentary films. And even though that one isn't a huge precursor of who's going to win or anything like that, I do think it kind of gives us an idea of where to focus our gaze. So if you notice, I don't have In the Same Breath in here, because that movie got shit at the award ceremony. It didn't get nominated anywhere, so I don't think anybody's eyes are on it. I do still have Flea, as I just said, at my number 1. I think The Rescue, that one, also very strong possibility. A lot of people really seem to be liking it. Val, I think, is a good contender. I really liked that one. As I did Summer of Soul, I really hope that film gets in. And then I put Ascension on there. I haven't seen it yet, but that's another one that got a lot of nominations at the festival. So that one, I think, has a good chance of getting in. Although I don't know where the curse is going to strike this year. The frontrunner for Best Documentary for the last few years has always missed getting nominated. So if the frontrunner is The Rescue, does that mean we also have to consider it maybe not getting in? I don't know. We'll find out how this one pans out. Last of all, international feature film. Worst Person in the World is my number one. I think it's a lot of people's number one now. So there's that. Flea, Parallel Mothers, The Hand of God, A Hero. I'm feeling pretty confident about these. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about those ones. All right, original score. Another one Dune, I think, really has in the bag. Very epic sound and very fitting as well. Just you watch that movie and with the sounds, the vocals, it fits. It definitely fits. So very well done. Hans Zimmer, I think, definitely is finally going to take another one home. Spencer, Power of the Dog. A lot of people saying the scores on those ones are amazing, both by Johnny Greenwood. So double nomination incoming. And then Nightmare Alley, The French Dispatch is kind of rounding it out there. But I really think you've got those top three, or I guess top two, technically, just for which film, who knows. It is really going to be the fight. Original song, maybe it's stupid of me, but I still have No Time to Die at the very top. A lot of people have started dropping it, and I understand the argument. That song released fucking forever ago, so yeah, I can see the argument of it, maybe people getting tired of it and maybe it not winning. And a lot of people have Be Alive for King Richard now taking it. Beyonce, of course. It makes sense. I should probably swap those ones out, but I'm going to hold on to No Time to Die for just a little bit longer. Still have Colombia Me Encanto. I have Down to Joy. And then I have So We May Start. Not a lot of people confident in that one, but hey, I feel it has like the same energy that what's that song last season with the comedy, the Earth Eurofire or Eurovision song. I don't know. I just feel like it has like the similar energy where people are like, oh, it would be great if it gets in, but it's most likely not going to. So I think getting in would surprise and make a lot of people happy. Plus, you got the Sparks Brothers documentary that just came out. So, I mean, there's that as well. I think that could give it a push. Moving on to sound. Once again, I think this is another one that Dune really has a strong shot at taking home. Got the Power of the Dog in there as well. No Time to Die, having seen it. There are a lot of moments that I was just like, whoa, the sound quality's pretty damn good. It's not something that I think general audiences really pay much attention to. And I'm not one that really has an ear for that sort of stuff either. So for me to go, whoa, that's really good sound while the movie's playing, I think is a strong indicator that it could very well get in. Matrix Resurrections, and then The Last Duel. The Last Duel also had really good sound. Very well done. Go check out The Last Duel if you haven't, guys. I know I talk shit on Ridley Scott, but once in a while, I guess he knows how to make a film. So yeah, Last Duel, I actually really like that one. It needs more love. It needs more love. Visual effects, Dune, of course, you know, another one in the bag, I think, for that one. Still got Godzilla vs. Kong, still got Eternals, although early reviews for Eternals, not great. Currently, as of this moment, sitting at 60%. So, maybe it not being well liked once it officially comes out might hurt its chances of getting in. So, don't be surprised if I just kind of kick it out. Though, of course, just because the movie's bad isn't always an indicator that that part of the film is bad, if you know what I mean. So, still, I think the enjoyment of a film can really definitely come into play when it comes to nominating it. Matrix Resurrections, threw Free Guy on there. I've been swapping number 5 a lot. I'm just not quite sure what to put on there. So this one, I will admit, I'm following other people's predictions. A lot of people have Free Guy at their 5, so I'm gonna put that one at my number 5. And then, of course, as I always do, let's wrap things up with the shorts. Animated short, still got Skin Like Mine at number 1. Although I am kind of worried because I don't think we have a full release date for this one yet. So I maybe gets pushed back. I'm not sure, but this one just seems like it could very well take it once it releases. So I got it on there. We'll see what happens by next month. I might have to kick it off if we just don't get that release. Are You Okay? I think is a very good strong possibility. Blush came out not that long ago. I saw it. It's very nice, very cute. So I think that one has a good shot. Us Again, of course, Disney gets in there a lot. And then I have Jupiter and Europa at my number 5. Again, just has that interesting art style that I think a lot of people tend to gravitate towards in terms of nomination. So that one I think has a good possibility. Documentary short, kind of going back to what I said about the documentary festivals. A lot of these shorts also kind of got attention. So with that being said, The Last Cruise and Audible, both that I had predicted before, also contenders there. So I think you got a good bet with those two getting in. A couple of other ones that they did hone in on that actually piqued my interest was Camp Confidential, America's Secret Nazis, and then Day of Rage, how Trump supporters took the U.S. Capitol. I think those two, especially in being very big topics in our society right now, I think are definitely going to get the push to get in. And then lastly, I just left The Lost Paradise at number 5. Not confident that it's going to get in, but the premise just seems too good to really pass up. Last of all, live action short. Again, definitely my weakest. Not a lot has changed there. I think Broken Exchange Uncoded is still your best bet, as is Fortunate Son. But Last Promise, Airbnb Boom, and Mutton are just kind of the ones that I'm just kind of tossing and seeing what sticks at the wall. So anyway, that's what I got for you for those predictions, guys. Yeah, a lot that was just discussed. November's a good month. November's a good month because the Oscar films finally start to kind of branch out and hit general audiences. Whatever doesn't come out in November for us, December usually brings to us. And then, of course, there's just those last-minute limited releases that really I don't get to see until January. That's just the curse of where I live. So there's that. So yeah, expect my list to change as the months go up, really leading all the way up until March. But that just means lots of prizes on the way, right? All right. Like always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, all that nonsense. Please stay safe out there. And until next time, have a good one.